I had been counting down the days, waiting for her to return from her trip. 4 days without contact, 4 days of silent worry, and 4 days of imagining every possible scenario. When Julia finally stepped off the plane, I expected relief, smiles, maybe even an embrace. What I got instead was cold dismissal. "I've had too much intimacy," she said casually, leaning against the doorway, as if those words were no more significant than a weather report. My mind froze for a second, struggling to process the implication. Too much intimacy, 4 days apart. And she claimed exhaustion from affection, from closeness that was supposed to be natural between us? At first, I thought she was joking, a sarcastic remark meant to lighten the mood. But the look in her eyes told me otherwise, sharp, detached, deliberate. Julia wasn't inviting conversation or reconciliation. She was setting boundaries, erecting walls I had no intention of testing blindly. I swallowed the surge of anger and disbelief, reminding myself that confrontation without clarity was a mistake I couldn't afford. I spent the evening carefully observing her. Every small gesture, every subtle sigh, every glance away became a clue, a breadcrumb leading me toward the truth. She had planned something. Her words weren't spontaneous. They were precise, intentional, meant to create distance while hiding her own secret motives. But I had learned long ago that actions reveal far more than words ever could. By the next morning, I had already begun piecing together a plan. I would not confront blindly, nor would I react impulsively. Julia believed she controlled the narrative, but I was patient, meticulous, and aware. Every interaction, every step she took, was being logged mentally, catalogued for the perfect moment of revelation. My heart pounded, not from fear, but from the satisfaction of knowing that the truth, once uncovered, would hit harder than any confrontation. And so I waited, quiet, composed, observing, while Julia continued to live as if nothing had shifted. She didn't realize that in claiming she had too much intimacy, she had underestimated the one person who truly understood the dynamics of our relationship, and who knew that patience, timing, and precision were my allies in turning betrayal into exposure. The next day, Julia acted as if nothing had happened, moving through the apartment with her usual casual demeanor, but I noticed the cracks in her composure. The way she avoided eye contact, the way her hands fidgeted with her phone, the way her laughter sounded slightly forced, all subtle signs that betrayed the tension beneath the surface. She thought she was clever, keeping up appearances, while I quietly observed, noting every detail. I started to trace the patterns of her interactions, the timing of her messages, the way she navigated conversations with friends and colleagues. It became clear that her claim of too much intimacy wasn't about exhaustion, it was a smokescreen. She was hiding something, trying to create distance while ensuring that I would remain oblivious. But I wasn't. Every clue, every hesitated smile, every whispered excuse painted a picture I was already assembling. That evening, I prepared a casual dinner, keeping the mood light, inviting her into a sense of normalcy. I wanted her to feel comfortable, confident even, because overconfidence is the perfect weakness. I asked about her trip, letting her speak freely while listening carefully, noticing every inconsistency, every detail that didn't align. She smiled, tried to charm her way through, but the tension was palpable. She had underestimated how thoroughly I could read her. I decided it was time to escalate subtly. I mentioned friends who had coincidentally been traveling near her destination, watching her carefully for reactions. Her eyes flickered, a tiny, almost imperceptible panic. She tried to laugh it off, but the slip was enough. That single micro-expression told me more than words ever could. She had a secret she believed I would never uncover. I didn't confront her yet. Instead, I let her continue to think she had control. Every small gesture I made, every carefully placed observation, was preparing the stage for the perfect reveal. By letting her operate under the illusion of control, I ensured that when the truth came out, it would hit with maximum impact, exposing the betrayal she thought she had concealed. The day of revelation arrived without fanfare. Julia moved through the apartment as if nothing had shifted, but I had already set everything in motion. Every subtle clue I had gathered over the past days, every inconsistency, every hesitated glance, was now assembled into a clear picture. She believed she had the upper hand, that her claim of too much intimacy had shielded her from scrutiny. I invited a few close friends over, under the guise of a casual gathering. Julia, confident as ever, didn't suspect anything. She smiled, poured drinks, and tried to maintain the illusion of normalcy, unaware that the stage had been perfectly set. I waited until the moment was just right, then addressed her calmly, deliberately in front of everyone. Julia, I know about your trip, and I know the truth behind your words. Care to explain? Her confident smile faltered, and for the first time in days, panic flashed across her face. She attempted to deflect, to charm her way out, but the witnesses, the evidence, and my composed demeanor left no room for manipulation. Every message, every suspicious movement, every whispered excuse I had noted over the past days was now an undeniable part of the story. She had underestimated me, underestimated the patience and precision I had cultivated, and now the consequences of her betrayal were unavoidable. I revealed the subtle evidence I had gathered, texts, inconsistencies in her story, and observations that exposed her hidden agenda. The room was silent, tension thick, as Julia struggled to explain herself. Every word she uttered faltered under the weight of undeniable truth. Her attempt to distance herself, to avoid intimacy, and hide her actions had backfired spectacularly, making her betrayal visible to everyone around her. By the end of the evening, Julia's mask of control had completely collapsed. I remained calm, composed, the quiet victor in a psychological game she had believed she was winning. Her betrayal, intended to humiliate and distance me, had turned into her own public reckoning. The lesson was clear. Deceit has a way of backfiring when met with patience, observation, and precise timing. As she finally left, shoulders slumped, eyes downcast, I felt a quiet satisfaction. Revenge isn't about anger. It's about timing, control, and ensuring that truth prevails. Tonight, every calculated step, every observation, every silent moment had achieved exactly that. Julia had learned, the hard way, that betrayal always carries consequences, and that those consequences can be orchestrated with subtlety, precision, and patience.